Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, I
we
can hear
can.
you.
Oh, that's perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, this
All
is
right.
nice.
Welcome everybody. Please, you can share the link on your status. I think I've sent it to your WhatsApp. You can share the link on YouTube. People can join and watch live. So sorry for
Okay.
the hiccups and the all the issues we're having. It was very strange. This has never happened to me before, so it was very strange. So um, nice having everyone around. Yoko Sport, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Gospel,
hear
can
you.
you hear me now? All
Yeah, I
right,
can.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Without wasting much time, let's just go to the nitty gritty of what we're discussing. Like the topic, like the title of our broadcast entails. I want to hear from each one of you. Is Osimhen the most informed striker in the world right now? Let me hear from each and every one of you. Share, let's go. Is Osimhen the most informed striker in the world right now? To me, I think it's Rashford. I think it's Rashford, but I don't know. I don't know what's your opinion.
Well, I think it's Osimhen, to be honest, because if you look at his form since turn of the year, of course he fired blanks against Inter, which was Napoli's first match in 2023. But I think since then he has been firing on all cylinders, scoring 7 goals in his last 5 appearances, scoring two at the weekend as well. So I think what is even more impressive now is the fact that compared to Man U and your Rashford argument, I feel the fact that he is championing or leading Napoli's Serie A title charge is really impressive. Unlike Rashford, who I think Man U are competing for a top 4 spot, the pressure is not as high on Rashford as like it is on Osimhen. So I think the difference is clear in my opinion. I think Osimhen obviously right now trumps Rashford.
All right. Osimhen trumps Rashford. Okay. I still would agree with you. Though. It's not because I'm a Man United fan, though. It's not because I'm a Manchester United fan. I think Rashford has been scored. I think he scored 6 goals consecutively at Old Trafford yesterday. That was. But I get your point. I get your point. I get your point, Shay. I get your point. Michael, let me go to you. Is Osimhen the most informed striker in the world right now?
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if others can hear you, but I can hear you.
Um, to me, yeah. First of all, if you look at Rashford this season, he mostly play as a left winger, not a striker. So, and Osimhen is a natural nine. So you're looking at a modern nine. That means you'll be putting in place of Osimhen, Alan, the rest of them. I'm talking about the left wing back in the world presently now. You can see Rashford is the more informed, but as a striker, Osimhen partners as the most informed striker in the world right now, ahead of even Erling Haaland. So I don't Rashford a full nine until maybe he start playing as a natural nine. Then we cannot start calling him a striker. But for now, Osimhen is still the most informed striker in the world.
Okay, Osimhen is the most informed striker in the world from Michael. Okay. Wilson, Gospel, Yoko Sport, can I hear you? Unmute
Yeah,
your mic.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can hear you.
Yeah, yes. Without doubt, I would say Victor Osimhen has been instrumental, and also he has been a top.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I say without doubt, Victor Osimhen. Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now clearly.
Yes. Without doubt, Victor Osimhen has been instrumental and been a top performer for Napoli. And you compare him to Rashford, I think it's no brainer. Like the other speaker said, uh, Rashford is not an out and out striker, so you can't just compare him. But Victor Osimhen has been on red hot form, leading the charge for Napoli to actually win the league in the Serie A. And right now, he's one of the top most strikers in the world. You can see Manchester United, Chelsea, and the host of others are flocking around him to get his signature. So I feel the young man has done well for himself, and he will keep on getting better. Coming back from injury and also making a statement for himself, I think it's a good one for he has the right mentality, working hard and the rest. So for me, Victor Osimhen has proven himself to be one of the top performers in European football right now.
All right, Victor Osimhen has proven himself to be one of the top performers from Yoko Sport. Okay, I just got a comment now, live comment from Idowu Ayomide. He says Victor Osimhen is the most informed striker in the world. That means that everybody's they are aligning to you guys thought that Osimhen is the best striker, the most informed striker. I get that loud and clear. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Everybody knows because we are discussing the trending topic in football on this show. We discuss the trending topics in football. So I think it was yesterday. This issue was all over the internet that Man City can be docked points for breaching their financial record. So I just want to know if they get punished, like they deduct points from them. How do you think the title race will turn into? What do you think the title race will become? Is it going to be very interesting, or do you think it's going to be somehow awkward without having Man City? What do you think? How do you think the title race will pan out? Okay.
Well, first of all, from what I've read, I think this will go on for a long time. It won't be decided in the next few weeks. It's going to go on for months and possibly even years because if Man City lose the case, they are going to appeal. And then for that to happen, a new panel will have to convene and they have to present the evidence yet again. So I don't think this will be resolved in the next few weeks. I think it's going to go on for a long time. And I think the punishment is not going to be retrospective. It's going to be forward looking. So I've seen the several punishments that they might be up against, but I don't think they are going to be dumped from the Premier League. I think for one that will be bad for English football, and that will be bad for
Of
the
course.
Champions League as well. So I believe it's going to be maybe a fine, or it might be a combination of several things. Maybe a fine, a points deduction, and maybe a transfer ban. Maybe all those three punishments can just be combined into one. But I don't see them being dumped out from the Premier League. But I think in future they're going to be docked points, maybe a heavy fine as well, and then a transfer ban.
All right. A transfer ban. Okay. What about you, Michael? What do you think? How do you think it's going to pan out? Do you think it's going to be if they dock the point from Man? Do you think it's going to be an easy ride for Arsenal to win the title? Michael, unmute your mic. Michael, can you hear me? Michael, unmute your mic. Michael, are you there?
Okay, talking to me. Yes. Okay. Me for the past 24 hours, I don't think anything easy. First is coach and the players' psychology themselves. I don't think the fine will be placed on them. Like, according to what she said, I think those are the three fines that will be put on them in nearest future if they have been found guilty. I think highest maximum point of 15 points there from them, a transfer ban, highest they maybe say it's a 2 year transfer ban, and also maybe not going to Euro for a season redemption because it puts more light on Premiership and to put them in the bad spot. So what I think is that I just believe Arsenal should just continue their own gameplay because they what presently now as the best team in the EPL result position, but they should not look down on what is happening to Man City. They need to strive more better because it's two ways. The negativity affecting Man City can either propel Man City to pushing further and going on a winning streak, or also affect them emotionally, psychologically, and making it to drop more points. I believe Arsenal should continue the way they are and do better, not looking down to Man City. I should focus on that.
Okay. Yoko Sports, what's your opinion
Yeah,
on the issue?
I think one of this issue has been we have been pondering on this issue for a very long time, even after the Saudi takeover of Manchester City. Many have complained. Few coaches have complained about it. You could see likes of Arsene Wenger said, and also Jose Mourinho coming out to talked about the financial fair play rules. There's no level playing ground for small teams again in the league and stuff like that. So I think it's not going to the judgment or the sanction is not going to happen now. In journalism, they say it's a developing story. So as days comes by, hours by hours, the issue is still happening. And thank God, Manchester City have employed one of the best lawyers in Europe, who is also one of the still the lawyer of what was he called, the former Prime Minister of UK. So, but for me, I think Manchester City, like the previous speakers have said, they will not be punished, but I feel they can be demoted because we saw that happening with Juventus years back. But even
Yeah.
though it's a different scenario, and their titles are being stripped. So for me, like if you look at it from 2010 down to now, you can say maybe their titles will be stripped and their medals will be stripped also. Points deduction from the league and also leading them to demotion from the English Premier League. So anything can happen. You can't just say because they are Manchester City, the law, the rules should not be hammered on them. So let's just see what happens because it's still a developing story. Days by days and weeks by week, we know what will happen to Manchester City.
All right, all right. I get you guys loud and clear. Okay, let's move on from that story. I just want to ask everybody. This has been bothering. I think I ask anywhere I go to watch football game, I used to ask their fans. Like I ask Chelsea fans, what is going on with Chelsea? Share your Chelsea. What's going on with Chelsea? What's the problem? Just break it down for us. Let's know the form. What's going on with Chelsea? You're laughing.
Well, I think if I were to go into details, we would probably be here till tomorrow, perhaps. But okay, where should I start from? The results or the signings, or which one exactly?
Yes,
Let me start from the results.
the result. You can talk about results because we've seen them sign a couple of decent players, but the result still doesn't seem to be coming around. So what's the problem? What do you think is the issue?
Well, watching the game against Fulham last Friday, I think the major issue was the fact that you could tell from how the players played that they had not trained with each other for a long time compared to the Fulham players who looked a bit more coherent in what they were doing. They looked a bit more organized in what they were doing with possession and out of possession. They were more coherent. They were more their pressing was more integrated, and they were also counter pressing with more verve than Chelsea, who struggled at times to pick out the right options with the ball. So I think that much was obvious, but I preceding the Fulham game, even though results were not forthcoming, I could see a bit of improvement in how Chelsea were playing under Graham Potter. I know he had a bad time, and then the defeat to Man City in the FA Cup was also quite discouraging. But I think since that defeat, they've mostly played well. They were the better team against Liverpool at Anfield, even though the game was a bit of a letdown. But I think Chelsea just about edged the performance between both teams. There's obviously levels to reach, and there's lots of improvement to be made, which I think we are going to see going forward. But regarding last week's game at Fulham, it was obvious that they had not trained together for a long time. I mean, Enzo Fernandez more or less had just 1 day with the team before making his debut against Fulham. So I think that kind of performance is going to be expected. But I think going forward, um, there will be improvement, but it might just take time because to get that a group of new players to adapt to each other will obviously take time. So I think in time, they will adapt to each other. But going forward, I think they're going to find their feet eventually.
All right. Everybody have been saying. I think I'm a big fan of Graham Potter, and I think I've been advocating for him to get more time. But a lot of people are saying he's just the guy for the small clubs. I want to get your opinion, Share. Do you think Graham Potter can do this? Do you think he can turn things around with Chelsea?
Well, obviously, it's a big jump going from Brighton to Chelsea. I think he has made mistakes, but obviously we need to understand the situation at the club regarding the level of change that has occurred in the last 10 to 12 months. The new ownership, the amount of new signings. I think they had a pretty disastrous summer in the sense that Todd Bowley was more or less at the forefront and center of Chelsea's recruitment. He was more or less the director of football, more or less that met with clubs and was trying to negotiate deals on behalf of the club. and he had issues with Tuchel, who more or less preferred the previous structure at the club with Peter Cech and Marina Granovskaya more or less being in those roles. He found it bizarre to be answering phone calls from the new ownership day in day out. He preferred the previous structure, so I think that caused issues. And the club wanted a different approach in the sense that they wanted they wanted to make signings for make or sign players that are 25 years and younger, whereas Thomas Tuchel wanted results for the present. You could tell that from some of the signings Chelsea made in the summer with Kaido Koulibaly coming in is in his 30s, and also Aubameyang came in on deadline day. He's also in his 30s. So I think that was a deviation from what Chelsea are trying to do. So I think there were obvious changes and there was obvious disruption from the summer, and then bringing in Graham Potter into that system, which was not yet balanced. I think that also brought up issues. And since then, he has more or less been firefighting. He's someone we know that with Graham Potter, you don't get a firefighter. You get someone who needs time to implement his structure and his ideas. We saw him at Brighton, even though they mostly ended in the bottom half of the table up until last season. I think generally someone who needs time to coach. He's not used to having games every 3 days. He needs time to train the players. So I think that has posed issues as well. And also Chelsea's really lengthy injury list up until about last month also posed problems. So I think all in all, those issues have had an effect on how Potter has managed Chelsea so far. But I think the injury problems have more or less eased in recent weeks. So I think there should be an improvement going forward, and we could see that before the Fulham game where they started to play reasonably well, even though the results were still not forthcoming. But I think in due time, in due course, the results should be a bit more forthcoming.
All right, I get you loud and clear. In due time, the result should be better. Yoko Sports, I'm coming to you now. You're a Chelsea fan also. Are you also of the view that Graham Potter is a man for the small clubs or for the middle for the average club, but you don't think he's good for Chelsea? What's your opinion on Graham Potter and his reign so far at Chelsea?
Yeah, you can't decide that now. You can't prove it now, except you give him time. And thank God, Bowley has given him what he wanted, and by buying some couple of young talents, young prospects in world football right now. Talking about Mikhailo Mudrik and Noni Madueke and a host of others. And it's now time for Graham Potter to actually prove to the fans that he's not a fluke. He's not a meetable coach. So let's see. Let's give him this season and give him next season to the mid of next season. Let's see whether he can be able to implement his ideas into play. Yes, he has good philosophy. He can play positional football and the rest, but can he actually deal with the egos of Chelsea or the fans, the expectation of the fans of Chelsea? That was one of the big questions that Graham Potter should be able to answer in coming seasons or in coming months to say. So for me, I feel that yes, the structure at Chelsea previously have not done well in terms of getting some couple of players, in terms of making statement signings. And for me, I think one of the major reasons that be affecting Chelsea is the change of power when Boli came and Ekbali came into the scene and the host of others, and also Boli making some mistakes by negotiating with which was not supposed to be negotiating with teams. I felt that maybe probably you should have allowed Peter Cech for a while, or had Peter Cech actually resigned. So for Chelsea, the fans have to be patient. The fans, so like they say, cut your coat according to your size. So the Chelsea of then can't be Chelsea of now again. So they have to just reduce their. For now, the season is gone for Chelsea. So let them just concentrate on maybe getting Europa League spots or maybe a Conference League. So let them see whether they can be able to get something better next season.
All right, thank you very much. I'm coming to you, Michael. Now, Michael, we look at Chelsea are also suffering, and another team that is suffering in the league is Liverpool. What do you think is happening to Liverpool, Michael?
Mm, yes, before I go to Liverpool, actually, on the light and a banter note about Chelsea, I would love to throw them a little bit because I think Todd Bowley is trying to draw the fans through himself. Because if you look at the signings, he's trying to sign. If you look at American owners, they are trying to build EPL, like the what they build a NFL league over there in USA. He was trying to say we change the name to Cowboy FC. If you remember very well, university, say Cowboy FC instead of Chelsea FC. So imagine him trying to get all the big stars, not even knowing he has no plan. To me, I believe 70% of the players in Chelsea are not Graham Potter's players he wants. That's why they are having these little issues. Though we will try and cope with them because they are young players, they can easily improve on his game plan because they are still young. They can easily evaluate to other evolve to another bigger player. But I believe the likes of Callum Mudryk was on the initial plan. No, they are like Newcastle when they see a club going for a big player, they literally catch him and they don't know how much they can spend a lot on him. I believe the players they signed, 70% of them are not Graham Potter's player. If you look at the sign of Enzo, Museido, ahead of Enzo, it was Bowley that wanted Enzo. It was Bowley because normally I remember last season, my youth former coach Jared Knack was actually looking for Enzo. Was telling mine to carry Enzo then, but my just overlook Enzo. This fancy this guy, this is Alvarez. They overlook them. That's why that. So just the World Cup alone is making boys just pick points all those all stars players. Those most players are not their plan. They are not Graham Potter's plan. That's why I see that he's kind of struggling with the players. I can bet it with you with the player I really want. Fine, they are just starting up. I believe you'll be able to cope with them. I just want them to just give the guy a more chance like Arsenal, at least give him this season. But the only risk they are having is that if they don't make Europe next season, it's likely effectively eats them at the banter also too. That is the risk they are having now. They must make sure they end the top 7 spot. If not, they are going to face FFP because they may think they have escaped, but the seat will be next season. They should watch out for that. So they have to make sure they tighten their belt and walk faster to the top 7 post before anything is them next season. And concerning Liverpool, I don't know maybe it's the 7th year trauma that's affecting Jurgen Klopp, or maybe it's already the players are tired, or maybe they are missing Sadio Mane. I don't know which of the three. Because if you look at their game plan, he signed Nunes even to help his team get again. But I believe once Luis Diaz comes back from injury and Jota, I think they should start turning up because they miss those two players too. Without those two players, Salah can't really do anything. Salah is like the main name in the team now. So once he's marked out, they can't do anything. Who's already getting to them. But I pray they should try to. I want the league to be much interesting. So it's not look as if they'll not be giving the excuse once Arsenal win the EPL, which I believe with the if they can win their next 6 games, it's possible they win the league. And except something happen on the way, except any injury affect Arsenal. But I want them to ensure that they can say that the win this season, they are deserving champion for this season. So I want Liverpool to get back on their feet. Same thing with other team.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Shay, I'm talking about that team that is also struggling in Europe is Real Madrid. They lost to Mallorca in their last game, but I think they went to the Club World Cup and they won it, and they won their match against Al Ahly 4-1. Impressive. But they've been struggling in the La Liga, and they are the reigning champions. What do you think is happening at Real Madrid? Let us know.
Well, to be honest, I've really not been. I've never really been convinced of Real Madrid, but they just keep proving me wrong. Throughout their Champions League run last season, I thought they will. I thought PSG would beat them. They beat PSG. I thought Chelsea would eliminate them. They got the better of Chelsea. I thought Man City would get the better of them, but they were able to eliminate Man City. Um, and they beat Liverpool in the final, obviously. But I just feel in a sense they relied so much they relied heavily on Karim Benzema to carry the can throughout last season throughout their Champions League run, and also obviously Vinicius Junior he did his bits down the left flank, but I just feel in a sense, having seen those players overperform last season, asking them to replicate last year's impressive form, I think it's a bit impossible somewhat. Karim Benzema has also had injury problems, and I don't think Real Madrid have they don't have the body to replace what he brings to their squad in terms of the presence, and obviously goals and assists. And not having Karim Benzema for some parts of this season has obviously had an effect on performances and results. I also think since the World Cup break, since the World Cup ended and La Liga resumed, I don't think Vini has been at his best. I think there has been a little drop off in his end product, and I think he has not been held by all the off field stuff with the abuse he's receiving. And I also think if you watch their games, it's someone who players tend to target in terms of the opposition right back tends to target him a lot by maybe tackling him a bit roughly. And with Vini, he tries to even prove a point by getting the ball and trying to dribble and do things by himself. I don't think that's the best way. Vini, I think he's at his best when he doesn't let those things bother him. But I feel he needs more protection from obviously the officials and from La Liga's higher ups, because I feel there was a statement that was made before. I think the first Madrid derby, um, I think sometime in October, where it was surprising to see the La Liga chairman more or less give weight to the abuse he was receiving for dancing after scoring. I think the abuse he has received before and after that from opposition fans has not helped. So I think he needs more protection from the officials of La Liga and also the referees, because players tend to target him, and at times I think that also gets to him. So they've not had their two best players from last season, Vinicius and Benzema, firing on all cylinders for various reasons, either injury or off-field stuff. And also, Thibaut Courtois is someone who last season it was really impressive, making loads of saves, preventing really high percentage chances. But I think this season his form has dipped also, and he has also had his own fair share of injuries. So I think all in all, those issues have played a part in Real Madrid's issues. And we can't forget the impact of their midfielders, Modric, Toni Kroos in particular, and also losing Casemiro as had a part to play. So I feel all in all, those issues have played a part in what we are seeing from Real Madrid so far.
All right, I agree with you. I think losing Casemiro is also is a very vital point there. Losing Casemiro and it's not replacing him with any vital midfielder. So I think you have a point there, Shay. Moving on to the other trending topic we have now. I don't know if you guys have seen it recently. It's been trending all over. Goal, Daily Mail, Sky Sports, the European Super League. What's your take on this, Yoko Sport, European Super League? What's your take on it? Do you think it's good? How do you think it benefits the clubs in Europe?
In terms of when you talk about the benefit, it's going to benefit the clubs in Europe. But on the other hand, will UEFA actually succumb to this? And also FIFA, knowing fully well that this might actually stop the UEFA competition. Like, not when you have the big powerhouses, going for the Super Cup, the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester United, and the host of others actually playing such competitions, and also TV rights coming into such competition. And maybe for me, I feel that maybe there will be less attention in the UEFA competition. That's why over time we've seen the UEFA president and also FIFA presidents trying to, downplay such competitions. We saw the Real Madrid president actually uh, being at the forefront of, making this competition happen, and with some host of other traditional teams, European traditional teams in Europe. So uh, let's see what really happens. But I just feel that if the most traditional teams like the likes of Bayern Munich, Juventus, and the host of others try to push their way through, maybe UEFA and also FIFA can be able to succumb to their to this Super League by actually allowing it to happen.
All right, thank you very much, Yoko Sport. Michael, do you have anything to say about the European Super League? What's your take on the European Super League that has been mustered around now? That has been trying that this heavyweights in Europe are trying to just bring out. What's your take about it?
Yeah, concerning this ESL, as I call it, it has been ongoing for like 2 years, and I knew that it will come up again because they need the powerhouses. They don't just need Bayern Juve, they need most of the strong gold houses. Which is why if you look at this issue happening to Man City, I believe it's like a revenge pattern of EPL trying to get hold of all those strong big names that they are being bought by those Arab Americans that they are spending. They want to get to them because they believe that once they have those strong people in their back, they can easily confuse UEFA and they do what they want to do. But I don't think because I believe this that 96 teams, 14 games, something like that, for 4 years interval. But I believe it really disturb football because that means if you don't have money, you can't compete for the league. So I believe they need to look into it. Is either they scrap UEFA Champions League and look into that one, or they continue with UEFA Champions because football, like as Wenger will say, is not about the money. It's about the fun entertainment in it. If they go on and align with this ESL, it will really affect football. Even fans will start debating. Look at the issue of Ronaldo Messi that debating for the past 16, 17, 18 years. Then football will now be dead. It's really affecting Ronaldo and Messi that they have been football for a long time. People don't want to focus on the likes of Mbappe, the likes of Saka, the likes of Rashford coming up and they are doing great. A lot of Erling Haaland, they're all playing fantabulous. The head of KDB. But because of this Messi Ronaldo, because of they are really immortalized the football about goals, goals, goals. Look at what defenders have done in the past. The likes of the second company. Who remember them? Vidic. Look at the one coming up now. The likes of Saliba coming up. Gabriel Magalhaes, and Lisandro Martinez coming up. Even focusing football on goal scoring money, it will really distress many things in football. That's my take on that.
But I think I agree with you guys. I think they should just trash this idea of the European Super League. It's just not going to work. Let's just continue with our Champions League. Let's just continue enjoying our Champions League and our Europa League and the other major leagues in Europe. All right, now it's time to go
Hello,
for.
mind you. Sorry to cut you short.
All right.
There are a lot of fixtures happening in Europe. When you take a look at, let's say the Europa Super League is happening, and players can really cope. Players will come out to really complain when you have the Nations League happening, when you have the Premier League happening, when you have so many competitions, the Europa League happening. Then you are talking about the Super League again. And people will say, and some section of people will say, yes, the players have been paid to do their job, but like they say, body no be firewood. So
Of
definitely,
course, of course.
yes, definitely, these are players who have to,
It's
complain
really
and also
taking
maybe
toll on the
riot.
players. It's really taking toll.
Yes. Mm. So that's my thought.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much,
It's
guys.
really taking toll on the
Now we now go
players.
to.
It's really taking toll on the players.
Yeah, I get, I understand. Well, we're about to go now to previewing the game for the weekend. Punters, if you're watching, you can start jotting and start taking notes because we're going to get our experts to give us their prediction on the games. And yeah, I'm going to bet, so I'm going to be looking at what they're going to be saying. So I. I want to know what they I want to know how their thoughts. I already have my stakes down, but I want to get their opinion to know if I'm to carry ahead or if I'm to that or to trash the
Don't
ticket.
go and sell your house. Oh. Don't go and sell your landlord's house.
You remember,
Okay.
you remember I had the correct score about Tottenham Man City. You remember I had the correct score on that. I told you Tottenham are going to win the game. I told you. Remember?
Yeah. You said it. That's why I'm waiting for your predictions this weekend. So, West Ham versus Chelsea. Chair, put your money on. I know you're going to tend towards Chelsea because you're a Chelsea fan, right? But just I want to hear your honest opinion on the game. West Ham versus Chelsea.
Yeah, well, looking at the previous meetings at the London Stadium, Chelsea have only won once in the last 5 meetings at London Stadium, so I wouldn't put my money on Chelsea, in my opinion. Do you want the correct score, or just a pick for your bet slip?
Yeah, I want the correct score. I want the correct score. I'll be happy.
Oh, okay. As a punter, I would go for West Ham over 0.5, but correct score. I think it's going to be a draw, 1-1.
All right, 1-1 draw from Share. You guys can hear. Next week you're going to come on. You're going to come on this show next week to come and defend your picks. All right, Yoko Sport. Chelsea, West Ham versus Chelsea. Who is your money on?
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult fight for Chelsea, but I see them coming through 2-1. I'm
Okay,
not saying this. I'm
2-1
not
from
saying this.
Yoko Sport.
I'm not saying this because I have soft spot for Chelsea, but it's just because of let's see what are the new signings can be able to come to the party this time around.
Remember, Chelsea are playing away from home. Oh. Yoko
Yeah,
Sport. Chelsea are
it
playing away from
it
home.
doesn't it doesn't matter. It's still
All right. Michael, what's your take? West Ham versus Chelsea.
West Ham Chelsea. I'm seeing and anybody winning the match. The first
Anybody
30 minutes
win?
of the game
Okay.
matters a lot. Yes, if Chelsea step up that game, they might scoop the day with a 0-1 win. But if West Ham, because the last game against West Ham, the West Ham played a draw with Newcastle, if I'm correct, and they can rise their
Yeah,
anchor
1-1.
is on form. And it's like a London derby match. Like a London derby match, a derby match again, second derby match in a row. It's going to be a tough match for Chelsea, but depends on how they step up that game. And like Enzo really did not play his role because if I look at Enzo, he's more of an deep lying playmaker, midfielder, not a four. So he's missing the likes of Jorginho and Kovacic. If Kovacic starts in that match, Chelsea have the edge to win the game. So you need Kovacic since they don't have Jorginho again. Kovacic at the anchor man so that Enzo can push more forward because he was just passing. He had a fair game, a decent game. He was passing all through the match against Fulham, and Mikhailo was not in the game. I would prefer them to start Madueke ahead of Mikhailo for the game because he was pushing attack that day, and I would want Kovacic to start at the anchor man at the four for Enzo to move forward the ball. Without that, I don't see them really scooping that easy win. But I'm looking for anybody win in that match.
We just
Okay,
just a
anybody?
report, just a report coming in. Kovacic has just resumed training on grass right now, so probably it might be on contention for Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to
And if
start
it's
him.
on
I think I
contention,
think
I'm
I think
giving
they're
him
going
to
to start him
Chelsea.
from the bench. I think they're going to start Kovacic from the bench. I think the manager is not going to throw him in just like that. He's going to start from the bench. He's going to walk his way in. All right, the next game is Arsenal versus Brentford. I'm very interested in this game. I see Brentford shocking the world this weekend. Shaya, what your take? Arsenal versus Brentford.
In the reverse fixture, I thought it was going to be a pretty tight affair, but Arsenal were able to win easily. I haven't seen them get defeated by Everton last weekend. I think obviously their coach Ateta will demand a reaction, and I think he's going to get that. I know Brentford are currently playing really well too. I think they are one of the sides that can actually match Arsenal's intensity. But I feel Arsenal will have too much for them. Being seeing that game is at the Emirates, so I believe Arsenal will win this maybe 2-1 or 3-1.
Okay, Arsenal to win 2-1 or 3-1. All right. Yoko Sport, what's your take? Arsenal versus Brentford. With
Yeah,
your money on.
for Thomas Frank team, he has been a thorn in the flesh of the big teams. For Brentford, they have always been one of the, the stubborn, the stubborn guys in the English Premier League, trying to defeat Liverpool, try to defeat Arsenal and the rest, and also Chelsea. So I feel that maybe probably there might be an upset or either ways because Arsenal lost. When you look at what Everton did to them, they would like to come back from that sad or a sorrow state, which they lost to Everton 1-0 last week. So I think it's also an avenue for them to actually get their title charge ongoing also by actually extending their lead on top of the table. So for me, I feel that Arsenal can be able to do something, but it's going to be a difficult one for me. So I will say it's a draw for me.
All right. Michael, what's your take? What's your prediction? Arsenal versus Brentford.
Yeah, about that match. Looking at the match and that London derby again, if I'm to look at the game very well, if it was a away game we are playing today, I'll have said it to be a very tough one. But looking at what the guys played last week against Everton, Everton a very low block using a 3DM as their midfield. I love elaborating my match very well. Immediately I saw the match against Everton, I said, this game very hard fast. And because using a strong DM against Arsenal that are attacking to be a very long day. And looking at Brentford, they are more attacking team than Everton. So they have the likes of Ivan Tony, they have strong player, but they have a more attacking team, and they want to attack Arsenal to show because they want to revenge. And mind you, Arsenal want to win their fans heart back. And don't forget, this home, they've never lost on this Emirates ground for this season. They're still unbeaten. So I'm actually going for a easy win and straight win to Arsenal, a 2-0 win to Arsenal. Because they're
All
having
right,
Etihad, they're
2-0.
having Man City next week. So they want to win the game so that they can easily be in better position for next week game.
All right, I think that's cool. That's a nice point there. Yes, I think they want to win so that they can be in pole position ahead of the game against Man City. Okay, let's go to the next game. Leicester versus Spurs. Share. Who's your money on? Leicester versus Spurs.
Well, I think with Leicester, they're really a curious case because before the World Cup, they seem to have been finding solutions to their issues, particularly defending set pieces. But when the World Cup finished and then the Premier League resumed, they struggled for consistency. They began losing games again, but they were surprisingly they were able to get the better of Aston Villa last weekend, with our own Kelechi and actually scoring one and assisting two. And then the debutant Tete was also really impressive on the day. So I think they have what it takes to pose problems for Spurs, who will be without Hugo Lloris, who is out for I think 6 weeks with a knee injury. So, yeah, even though I know he has had a really tough year with performances, and also he has made several high-profile errors. So let's see how Fraser Foster comes in for him for the next few weeks. But on for this weekend's game against Leicester, I think it's going to be a high scoring draw. Maybe a 2-2. With Harry Kane getting a goal, obviously, and then Iheanacho, if he's trusted, also getting a goal. And I think they having seen how Tete was able to dovetail well with Iheanacho, I think that's maybe a combo that we can actually look forward to seeing for Leicester City. So I think it's going to be a high scoring draw, 2-2 for me.
All right, 2-2 from Sheye. Yoko, Leicester versus Spurs. Who's your money on?
Leicester versus Spurs. After winning against Manchester City, I think it's a high motivation for them, and also not having their coach around the corner, like on the touchline. That's Antonio Conte, who is actually on the sidelines because of his health right now. So I think that will serve as a moral boost for them going forward. Leicester, on the other hand, have not been pretty much convincing. So I feel Tottenham have an edge over them, even though they are playing at the King Power Stadium. Because Tottenham, for me, I feel they have an edge to be, still push up the top four to see whether they can be able to get something out of it and maybe make European football. So for me, I feel Tottenham will have the day winning 2-0.
Tottenham to win 2-0. Michael, are you also leaning on Tottenham to win? Who's your money on, Michael?
That match. Yeah, and looking at Leicester's game last week, I think they won 4-1 last week. That's a
Yeah,
great game, and
yeah.
Tottenham coming back to win on their own top. I think it will be a very crucial man for Tottenham to let people know maybe last week game was not a fluke. Maybe they are back. Because they're also gunning for top four. They are 1 point behind Newcastle and 4 point behind Man U. So I think they are also eyeing the top four position. So I think they're playing the game for their life, and to really give them the momentum. If that just a fluke, maybe they are pretender for top four, or they may for another for top four. So I'm going win or draw for Tottenham because it'll be a tough game. I'm going for either a 1-1 draw or a 0-1 win to Tottenham again.
1-1 draw is 0-1 win or draw. I think I'll go for win or draw because that's the safest option for me. Win or draw for Spurs. Okay, the next game is Crystal Palace versus Brighton. I think this game is going to be very interesting. Chair, what's your take on the game? Crystal Palace versus Brighton.
Well, for Brighton, they kept their really impressive form with the 1-0 win last weekend. And this I think it's a derby of sorts. I think there's a rivalry between both clubs, so I think this will be a really interesting one. Brighton are high scoring. Palace, I don't know if Zaha will be back. I know he missed the last game through injury, so I don't know if he's going to be back for the Brighton game. But I feel Brighton just have a bit more about themselves. I think they have more more match winners, obviously, and Mitoma is playing really, really amazing currently. So I would go for a narrow 2-1 for Brighton.
A narrow 2-1 win to Brighton, right? All right.
Yes.
Okay, Yoko Sports. Unmute your mic.
Yeah,
Where you are supporting?
yeah. The game is going to, for me, I think it's going to be one on the touchlines because if you look at what Patrice Vieira has done so far, so good. He has been incredible for Crystal Palace, and also looking at what Brighton coach has done when Graham Potter left. I just feel he has actually added more flavor, more vibe to the team of Brighton. So the game is going to be a tactical match, and let's see what comes up. For me, I feel it's going to be a draw.
All right, it's gonna be a draw. Yoko Sports. Michael, Crystal Palace versus Brighton. What's your take?
Yeah, that match is a match to watch because I think there are a lot of London derby this week. That is the third London derby match going on this week. After West Ham, Chelsea, Brentford, Arsenal, now Brighton, Crystal Palace. I think Brighton has been a very interesting team to watch. They be out flying, targeting European football, so too, either Conference League or Europa League. I think they are seventh or sixth on the log, if I'm correct. And not sending Caicedo really helps them a lot. Having Caicedo and McAllister in their midfield anchor there, it really says a lot. So and Crystal Palace have been struggling for a while. I think they lost their last game against Man U, yeah, 2-1. Even though Casemiro got a red card. They've been trying to turn up in some games, but I don't see them really winning the game against Brighton. Sorry to my brother is there and the Conga. I don't think is really that this will be that day. I'm giving it to Brighton a slight one because the attack of Brighton is too much for them. The likes of Mitoma and Co is too much for them. I'm going for Brighton win.
All right, Brighton win. Brighton win. That's a tough call. That's a big one. Brighton to win away from home at Palace. All right. Southampton versus Wolves, share. This is gonna be a tricky game. The game of relegation battle.
Well, I think it's on paper, seeing given what we've seen from both sides in recent weeks, it shouldn't be tricky in my opinion. I think Wolves. I'll make Wolves the favorites for this one because they've already been playing well under Lopetegui in recent weeks. I'll make them favorites, and I haven't seen how Southampton have more or less played recently. They lost 3-0 last weekend at Brentford. Although watching Nathan Jones's post-match interview, he more or less said there will be changes in how he approaches things at the club with the players. He made it seem like there's been some interference from people above him. He said he would do things his way, and even considering what we're able to read, maybe on Sunday and Monday, apparently his future was even in doubt where the sack was considered. So um, he obviously wants a reaction from his players. So let's see if he will get that. Although, as a punter, I would go for maybe Wolves to win or a double chance on pick for Wolves 1-0.
All right, double chance for Wolves or Wolves to win. I think that's the best option. Double chance for Wolves. It's gonna be the odds is gonna be high. I think. I'm gonna check that out. Yoko Sports, Southampton versus Wolves.
I think it's going to be a go-go situation. Looking at the fact that Southampton got Paul Onuachu, and he made some brilliant appearances for Southampton when he came on. So also looking at Wolves also hammering Liverpool last weekend. So I think it's going to be a go-go over for me. But it's my end draw.
All right, my end draw. Go from Yoko Sports. Michael, unmute your mic. Southampton versus Wolves. Put your
Yeah,
money on.
you can look at that match Southampton versus Wolves. Wolves have been on ups and downs. They've been they've been on ups and downs. And what I want to say about the match is I really want to see the match very entertaining. But Southampton, I don't think this is their year. I think this is the year they'll be relegated because they've been very, very on a low moment. Though Paul Nacho promised that you fight for them with blood, I don't think it's going to turn up enough for them. I don't see them winning the match against Go because when the Portugal turns on, Southampton will Winning against Liverpool really give them that momentum against Southampton. So I'm giving them a straight win, Wolves.
All right, straight win to Wolves. Okay. Next game is Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. Fulham, chair. I think Fulham is going to win this one. I don't know. What do you think? Fulham versus Nottingham Forest.
Well, I think it's going to be tight. To be fair, I think most of the games this weekend are likely to be tight. To be honest, but this one, I know Forest don't travel well, so that makes me lean towards Fulham. Nottingham Forest, I think they've only won one game away from home also, which was against Southampton. And obviously we know that Southampton have issues of their own. So for that reason, I'll go for Fulham to win the game. Although if this ends in a draw, I won't be surprised. But I know Fulham have more match winners than Nottingham Forest. So I will just go for Fulham. Although I haven't seen now Kylian Navas kept in the Forest goal over the weekend. It was more or less the man of the match on his debut for Forest. So I think his influence will be key in this one because Fulham are going to pepper Nottingham Forest goal, so they'll need him to have a really huge game. But regardless, I feel Forest or Fulham will have just enough to eke out a positive win in this one.
All right. All right. Okay. Yoko Sport, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fulham versus Nottingham. Who is your money on?
Fulham
Who do you
versus
want me to take
Nottingham.
on? Who do you want me to
Yes,
take on?
I think Marco Silva side, Fulham. I put my money on Marco Silva side, Fulham.
Okay, you're going to go put your money on Fulham, right?
Yes, because they have been incredible. If you look at what they have been doing so far, so good. We see how they play Chelsea without fear. We could see how we saw William, we saw Paulinha in the middle of the park breaking down plays and also trying to dictate plays. So I feel that Marco Silva, having not done so well in the league over previous years, going to the Championship and slowly coming back with a full ham. So I think for me, Fulham are going to win this game
All right.
by
Fulham are going
by
to win.
by
Yoko
by,
Sport.
by slim margin, maybe 1-0.
All right. By a slim margin. By a slim margin. All right. Michael, are you also going for Fulham to win? Or you have something opposite to say?
Yeah, I'll be going for because with that Pania having Damishi, that guy has been a beast person for some games. And the guy is really on top form. If you look at the guy for the past 6, 7 games, he has been one of the best midfielder in EPL. He has been on top form. Look at the game in Chelsea, both leg running out up and down. I'm sure if Pania was in Chelsea, Chelsea will win that game against Fulham. With him and Enzo, they'll win that game against Fulham. So if I'm going for that match, Fulham versus Nottingham Forest, I'm going for anybody win or draw for Fulham because I'm tipping Fulham to win slightly or a draw.
All right. Win or draw for Fulham. All right. Okay. We'll go for the next game. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Yoko Sport. Bournemouth versus Newcastle.
Bournemouth versus Newcastle. This is a match Eddie Howe would like to allow it flip his sleeves. For me, Newcastle has been one of the underrated teams so far, so good in the English Premier League because they have been doing so well. You know, addition of Gordon, and also they are one of their star man, Saint Maximin coming back from injury, and also Eddie Howe has done incredible well for the team. If you look at how solid the defense has been so far, so good this season, and also at the midfield, Joelinton being one of the key performers in the team. So for me, I think this is a match that Newcastle will not like to lose. I'm tipping Newcastle to win this one 2-1.
All right. Share. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Who's the money on?
Um, I'll go for a draw because having seen how Newcastle have been in recent weeks, they are not losing games, but they are also not winning. Fine, they were finally bridged in their last game against West Ham, where they played out a 1-0 draw. But I think preceding that game, we were playing a plethora of goalless games. So this one, I think Bournemouth they brought in a few signings in January window, so they have some threats going forward now. But I don't think they'll want to use this one, obviously. And Newcastle, I haven't seen them struggle at times with goal scoring. In the attacking third. I think that is likely to continue at Bournemouth. So I'll go for, I think both teams will score in this one. So I'll go for 1-1.
All right, Michael. Michael, who's your money on?
Yes, yes. Newcastle for a long time. Newcastle has been on a very strong form, and I think recently they draw points. They won their last game. They've been little sloppy in some matches. I think they are getting to a point they want to start breaking up before they pick up again. One thing I know about football is that you can't go on a winning run or a good form throughout the season. I think they've been on a very long run. They've been good, and they've had some bumps on the road. But I think this match will be a very tricky match for them. So I'll be tipping it a double treble. If they step up their game, they have a win or draw. But I'm also seeing that might also end with a slight win to Bournemouth if they're not careful. I think this might be the match they might want to test that result. Because everybody believe on paper Newcastle is a better team, favorite to win it. But Bournemouth may come to shock us this weekend. So let's watch out for the game.
All right, okay. The next game is Leeds versus Man United. This game, the reverse picture that they played yesterday was almost heartbreaking for me because I took mine. I take the Man U to win or draw, and Leeds almost won out at our home. I was almost crying when I was watching the game. But thank God for Rashford and Jordan Sancho. They came through for me. So I don't know. Do you think Man U can win them at their own turf? Shay, what's your take? Leeds versus Man U. Who are you leaning on?
Well, it's hard to call because I feel given the managerial uncertainty at Leeds, it's hard to know what to expect. Yesterday we saw them come out firing on all cylinders. They pressed Man U in the early stages. They got that early goal from Wilfred Nyoto, which was a really impressive finish. But I still think after the hour mark, Man U were resurgent in how they came at Leeds in the final 30 minutes. I think they deserved the point at least. I think they could even have ended with all 3 points on another day. So I feel, but then credit to Leeds for ending Man U's 13 game winning streak at Old Trafford. But I feel for this one, it's hard to know what to expect. I know the fans of Leeds will be up for it, given the rivalry between the clubs. So I really don't know what to expect. But I think it's going to be maybe another affair where we see goals being scored by both sides. But picking a winner from this one is hard for me. So maybe I'll leave it to the other guys to pick a winner. So I'll go for both teams to score, but I can't call the eventual outcome.
All right, both teams to score. I think that's very safe. That's very wise. If you're a punter, you can just you can just go with share scores. Both teams to score. Yoko Sports.
Yeah,
What should I take on?
if you look at the game yesterday, you could see that Leeds play without fear, and after sacking their manager, that's one.
Yoko Sports, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
you. Yes,
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me
you now.
now?
We can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, after sacking their manager and getting a new manager, it's actually we've seen it before when teams do sack their managers. Players want to play for the managers to gain his trust and gain his favor by selecting them into the team. So we could see the passion, we could see the hunger from those players yesterday when they played against the Manchester United. So I'm expecting another fight, another battle. You know, like the 19-year-old boy who scored, the Italian who scored against Manchester United.
No two.
Uh, so yes, Neto. So I'm expecting another rough battle between both sides. But Manchester United going to this home is going to be a difficult one because we saw the hunger, we saw the passion, we saw the zeal to play. Even though Manchester United have been on top from last time, still wanted to dent Manchester United record at home. It might be a slim win for Leeds United.
All right.
I
Michael,
know
what
you'll not be happy.
did you say?
I know you'll not be happy.
No, let's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch now. We're gonna bet now. Me and you are gonna bet outside this show. We're gonna bet in the DM. And Maya are gonna win this game. I'm gonna bet that Maya are gonna win it.
Yes.
I'm gonna show them
Concerning
Pepe.
concerning that game, I was telling someone before they played their first leg between Leeds, I was telling that Casemiro is like their Thomas Partey. Once Casemiro is out of the game, it's really toil on Manu. I'm 100% sure if Casemiro was in that match, they will win the Leeds game on a stroke. But coming back to the point that this new manager effect, it depends on the team you have actually. Look at Everton. If Everton did not have those three DM, Onana, Gonye, and Dokore, I don't think they will win that match against Arsenal because Arsenal did not play badly and normally they have won the game, but doing that low block DM, which I think Leeds does not have those really low block DM. They have a strong player attack, but the defense line is very, very porous. That's why they've been poor this season. So if Mayu could do with Casemiro is gone and play their game with like of Sebista and Fernandez and Co, I think they should either win or draw. But I'm seeing it's a very tough match for them to win. Being the new coach want to prove his point as a new manager, I'm looking at the template of Everton game against Arsenal. They want to give it a very tough one for them. So I'm going for anybody winning that match.
Anybody win? For me, I'm going for a Man U win. I don't know who's gonna bet against me. Who's gonna bet against me? 1 million error. One Man U are gonna win that game. Straight up. I'm gonna defeat them. Okay. Without wasting
Are you
time.
sure you're in for it? Are you sure you're in for it?
Yes, I'm in for it.
This one that you are betting 1 million, as if we have seen you bet 1 million in Twitter.
Don't worry. Don't worry about the money. Just bet. The money will come. All right. Man City versus Arsenal Villa. Quick one.
Well, this is the kind of game that Unai Emery likes. He likes to be the spoiler. He likes to go to teams, to big teams, and then have a tactical plan to nullify their threats and have a plan on the counter attack. We've seen Man City this season not be as potent, which is weird because obviously they have Erling Haaland who is breaking scoring records. But I just feel as a team they've struggled to find the other match winners apart from Erling Haaland, and whenever he doesn't get the service, I think they struggle for goals. So
Yeah.
obviously, I know Unai Emery will want to limit the productivity to or the supply to Erling Haaland on Sunday. Whether he's able to do that now, that remains to be seen. But this one, given the issues with Man City, with the uncertainty, with the upheaval that is likely to happen at that club, I would like to actually see how they respond to the recent to the Premier League's recent charges against the club. So, but still, be that as it's me, I think Man City will have enough. Having lost last weekend at Spurs, I feel they will just have a bit too much for Aston Villa. I feel Kevin De Bruyne is going to start, having been a substitute against Spurs, going to start on Sunday. And I think having him in the squad means they have the creative hub of the side in the team. So I think they will just be a bit too strong for Aston Villa on Sunday.
All right. I think they're gonna be a bit too strong for Aston Villa on Sunday from Share. All right. Yoko Sport.
Yeah, the match is going to be won on the touchline. Like I said earlier, Emery, another fantastic manager, anytime, any day. Take a look at Pep Guardiola also. So it's more like a Spanish battle between these two sides, between these two teams, and also two managers. So anything can happen. But does Aston Villa have what it takes to actually stop Manchester City? That's the big question Emery have to answer on the ninth. So for me, I think Manchester City is going to win this one.
Michael, are you also going for Manchester City
Yeah,
straight win?
the match between Good Evening and Manchester City. Mr. Good Evening will want to do it as a point of contact to make people know that he's back to EPL. But I think Man City looking the game ahead of them after the Aston Villa looking at their going away to Emirates, a turn on their flag this season. I think they want to scoop this win to make them know that they are way past what the trouble is open around them. Because like I said before about Man City, about their issue that the negativity might push them on winning games or also affect them psychologically. So the point now they want to put are carry this ball along with them. So but I'm also going to go for a straight win for Man City because they will not want to repeat what happened to them between Southampton and Manchester United, losing 2 games on a row. That's FA and EPL. So they want to bounce back with Aston Villa, knowing that they are having a very tough match ahead of them. So I'm going for a straight win to Man City, a 2 or 3-0 win to Man City. 2-0,
All
3-1
right,
win to Man City.
straight win to Man City from all our experts in the house. So I think that's gonna pretty much that's what's gonna happen. Man City are gonna win that. But if Aston Villa go shock us, it's gonna be terrible for us punters. So Liverpool versus Everton, share. This is gonna be the derby. Who do you think will come out on top?
Yeah, it's at Anfield, yes.
Yeah, that Anfield, yeah.
Well, to be honest, it's hard to want to root for Liverpool because right now I think they've lost the major component of their game, which is their intensity. I think the against Wolves last week, the opening 15 minutes were really atrocious. Wolves deservedly won that game 3-0 eventually. They off the ball, their pressing is not as intense. In possession, they don't have the same verticality that they previously had. I think the major issue in their team, which is their midfield, was not addressed in January. So you just wonder if and even Klopp, looking at when he was asked what the issues are, he seemed unable to even respond to the question because to be fair, looking at him on the touchline, he doesn't seem to know what he can do, what else he can do to solve the current issues. So look, I won't be surprised if Sean Dyche takes his team to Anfield with the on the back of beating Arsenal last weekend, giving them the motivation and the belief that they can actually win at Anfield because I think they did that during the lockdown or post lockdown in 2020 where they were able to beat Liverpool at Anfield. I think it was 1 year on the day. So look, now that Liverpool are not in fine form, I know they given how Everton were able to respond against Arsenal last weekend to the new manager bounce, I think going to Anfield they will back themselves. Liverpool are not playing well, so if there was any other time to beat Liverpool at Anfield, this is the time. I know it's going to be very high for punters. So if you want to go with the risky bets, you can go for Everton to win, but I'll go for double chance Everton.
All right, that's pretty. It's gonna be pretty high. The odds are gonna be pretty high. Everything odds are gonna be pretty high. So it's worth taking the risk. It's worth taking the risk. Yoko Sport, you want me to take that risk also?
Yeah, Liverpool have not been convincing, but I think they might be able to come out for the fans, to win this match at home. Even though it's not going to be an easy one, it's a derby, Merseyside derby. It's always something that is bloody. You could see the emotions, you could see the passion from both players and also fans. Also, so I feel that for Liverpool, they have been facing their ups and downs. I would say after the season, club should just should go somewhere. I don't think he can be able to continue with Liverpool again because he has run out of ideas. It look as if he doesn't know what to do anymore. Gone are those days where you used to have long-time managers in teams, the likes of Arsene Wenger, also Alex Ferguson. But right now, 3 to 4 years, if you have paid your dues, you move. You can't just be in a team and 6 to 7 years and nothing to show for, even though he has won. But there's law of diminishing return happening to you. That's what is happening to Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone has been there and done that, but you could see law of diminishing return happening in Atletico Madrid. You could see also in Liverpool right now. And so I feel for me, the match against Everton will be another test for Jurgen Klopp, whether he needs to go or he needs to stay. So for me, I would say Liverpool try to win this one, but I don't see Jurgen Klopp should be able to go after the season.
All right. I'm also with you in that school of thought that it's time for club to just take a break from everything, just go take a sabbatical and just try to refresh and maybe come back and take a national team job because I think he has won everything all with Liverpool and doesn't get anything to prove again. So I think he should just.
Madrid are eyeing him right now. Also, Thomas
No, I
Tuchel.
think I think you should just take a break. I don't think you should coach any club side at the moment. Let him just take a break, then come back and take a national team job, a job that will be lesser pressure. Yeah, there won't be much pressure on him to deliver. So yeah, Michael, Liverpool, Everton. Yeah, I learned you're about to go. So quickly, just take it on before you go. Michael, are you there?
Yes, concerning Everton Liverpool, yes, I'm there. Concerning Everton Liverpool,
Okay.
their first leg was a 0-0 game, a goalless draw. They played the first leg, and it was a very tough game. Both managers plays a lot. So winning the game against Arsenal, I believe, and Liverpool losing to Wolves, it will traumatize Liverpool fans. And there are two ways: one will traumatize a team, the other will ginger a team. Beating a top table leaders of the EPL and losing to half middle table team. So it's a very big game. So what I'm seeing this time around, the tables are going to be turning towards Everton's game. So I'm seeing a win or draw to Everton instead of Liverpool. I'm seeing Liverpool struggling to win this match, except they have their savior this season, which is the Douglas Luiz or Jota, which they are not around. So I'm going for Everton win or draw. Table is turning now Everton.
Everton, Everton win or drop on Michael and share. I think that's what my spirit. That's what I'm going to stake on this weekend. I'm just going to put one big money on it. But if my money enter inside water, and I go pay. Okay, let's go to La Liga games quickly. Let's just brush through La Liga games. Cadiz versus Girona. Share. Cadiz or Girona.
Much. I don't know much about the maybe bottom level sides in La Liga. So I don't think I would be able to predict on that. My expertise largely lies in the Premier League and then Serie A and also League 1.
All right. Yoko Sport, do you have an idea? Cadiz, Girona.
Cadiz Girona, it's going to be an over match, and I feel that Girona should have an edge against Cadiz.
All right, America versus Real Betis. Yoko Sport. I think since Share says
America
Real
versus
Betis.
Real Betis.
Yeah.
Real Betis should be able to take this day, but regardless, America are pretty much a good side. But with the quality Real Betis possess in their team, I think they can be able to get a needed point against America.
What about Sevilla, Mallorca? Mallorca won Madrid last week. So do you think they can build on that and get something out of Sevilla?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Sevilla, I'm not talking about because Sevilla is a big name, but without they have quality in their team. Sevilla have quality in their team. So you could see what happened against Barcelona also, but Barcelona actually won that match. That was Sevilla. But I think they can be able to slug it out through this one and be able to get a win against Mallorca.
All right, Valencia, Athletic Bilbao.
Valencia, Atletico Bilbao. Wow, it's another interesting match, another big match for the TV. Atletico Bilbao are not pushovers. Valencia also are not pushovers. So I think this match is going to be an over match, and it might end either draw. There's going to be a scoring in this match.
All right. Um, Getafe versus Rayo Vallecano.
Getafe versus Real Vallecano. I'm going to go for Real Vallecano 2-1.
2-1. Wow. Celta Vigo versus Atletico Madrid. A tough one.
You said Sevilla?
Celta
What?
Vigo versus Atletico Madrid.
Celta Vigo versus Atletico Madrid. Wow, another match for the TV, But I'll pick Atletico Madrid. They can be able to navigate, but Celta Vigo are not pushovers. They have some little bit of young guys who are hungry and who can be able to put Sansan in anybody's gary.
All right. Real Valladolid versus Osasuna.
Real Valladolid versus Osasuna. Draw.
Draw. Okay. Villarreal versus Barcelona.
Villarreal versus Barcelona. I think Barcelona will have an edge. Barcelona will have an edge.
Okay.
But mind you, we still have Villarreal. The Yellow Submarines can be able to prove shocker, but Barcelona are riding on the smooth tie. Right now, everything is going well for them. Madrid is not behind them, so they can be able to extend their lead up front. So I think Barcelona have the edge to be able to get the needed points
All right. Espanyol
take
versus
them to
Real
the future.
Sociedad. Espanyol versus Real Sociedad.
Espanyol versus Real Sociedad. Another match that will end in an even tie, and also we might see a go in this situation.
All right. Go. That's what Yoko Sport is advising punters to go on. Okay. I think Madrid. I don't think the game is going to hold because of
No,
their
no, no, no.
involvement.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
because Club World
So
Cup.
all right, we'll come to the end of the show. I'd like to thank every one of you. I think I would like to have you guys back on next week if you guys
We
will have.
didn't talk about MPFL. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
MPFL because we don't have. I think because of time, I don't think we have the luxury of time to talk about it. But we can just talk about who do you think Yoko Sport? Who do you think is going to win the MPFL? Just
Yeah, a lot of
the quick one.
it's too early in the day. It's just 6 match played so far, so good. So I can't tell you that because after the group A and the group B, there are going to be super 6 or super 4, super 8 thereabout. So I can't tell you who is going to win the league right now. But so far, so good. Bendel Insurance have been doing so well. Can they maintain the momentum? Time will tell. And also Remo Stars. And also you have some also teams that have been punished and also banished from there. So a lot of drama happening in the NPFL. I was expecting you to, bring up the topic, but unfortunately, we couldn't talk about the NPFL.
Yeah,
This
because
is
of
one
our
of the
time.
games I
Because of
enjoy
our
so
time.
much.
Because of our time. Thank you very much, you guys. I really appreciate your show. I would love to have you guys next week if you guys are available, so we can still do it again and just talk more and enjoy ourselves and talk on trending football. And for punters, you can just take on their expert tips, and maybe you can give them your 10% once your ticket green. So you give them 10% from your money. All right, guys. And please, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you can just do so now. Subscribe, and I promise this is all we'll be giving you every week, mouth-watering content. And we promise to enjoy your show, your time with us. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Shea. I appreciate you, Yoko Sport. Michael has gone, so I would like to have you guys next week. Am I getting your affirmation?
Well, I really can't say yes, but yeah, I guess we'll be in touch during the week.
All right, no problem, no problem, no problem. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Do have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too, good one.